Oh boy. Oh boy. Continue from the deepest cloister reach. Hey guys. We're here. Back at the start of this series, I said something to you guys. I said that 10.2 had a pretty crappy plot that did get better as it went along. But the main thing it was really good at was it felt like a real decent classic Final Fantasy with some of its mechanics and endgame systems. And to me, what I was really talking about was this place, the Via Infinito. The incredibly long, incredibly deep dungeon you have to descend. So today, finally, we're here. It was very good to make it. I got a lot to talk to you guys about. Number one, the fact that we have mascots on. So I've actually trained since the last episode. Well, last episode we were hanging about in Luca.
Going to take the goal!
Check out Yuna there in her Moogle costume with the damn little, one of Lulu's previous weapons from the previous game. Last episode we were in Luca, so you guys didn't see, but I've actually leveled the girls from level 70 to level 80. So welcome to level 80. Level 80 is a level that I'm intending to complete this all at. And hopefully we're okay. Oh, return to the surface. No, I don't want to do that. Let's kill this guy, I guess. See what he does. Level 80 is the level I'm intending to do this at. However, a couple of things. Number one, when I was a kid playing this game, I never managed to descend to the bottom of this dungeon. Oh, that feels so good. Tonberry Pain defeating a Tonberry. Oh. When I was a kid, I never managed to descend to the bottom of this dungeon. And as I sit down to record with you guys today, did I do a test file where I descended floors just to be sure what I was doing so I could then do it in front of the camera? No, I didn't. What does that mean? That means all the bosses, the super bosses, the hardest bosses of vanilla Final Fantasy X-2 are coming up, and I've had no practice against them. This is the equivalent of me doing 10 without having practice against Penance, which actually I think is what happened as well. I did a lot of reading about it, but I didn't actually practice. So I know what's coming up. I know trivia about the fights. I know tactics to get through the fights, generally speaking. But I haven't done them myself yet. So these next cloisters, we're seeing some differences. As we can see here, there's these giant drakes, these scary dragon guys. Now, as far as I remember, they are very deadly, very dangerous. One valuable tactic that someone already mentioned in the comments is to have an evade counter berserker on your team, and they will evade like all their deadliest stuff unless you cause them to counter with fire breath or something. So those enemies generally you're going to want to avoid, though. Right? As we go deeper, there's going to be more and more and more of that. It's not just Tonberries wandering around here that you want to watch out for, and slowly more of these fire drakes will appear. Now, I'm currently talking to you guys live as I play. However, we do have so many floors to descend. As soon as I run out of things to talk about, I'm just going to do it in silence and basically post-commentate if anything interesting happens, because otherwise, I mean, it's just going to be a nightmare. This little hole here, eventually you will find that as we get lower down, more dragons start appearing out of this, and you've got like 2 to dodge in a single floor. But yeah. Right, so we do have a lot to show off, at least. The cool thing about Mascot is there's a whole load of new abilities for us to check out, a whole load of new things to talk about, in addition to the fact we are now level 80. Mascots are incredibly powerful. So, who do we want to look at first? I guess we want to look at Yuna. Should we go Yuna, then Rikku, then Pain? Because it's YRP, right? By the way, when the camera zooms in like that, that's an international feature, and it's hilarious when it zooms in on the mascot sometimes. It just fills your entire screen with this giant, like, cute, cuddly face of one of your girls. Obviously, right now, we're still okay killing enemies. We are another 10 levels higher. We're still, you know, in some of the earlier cloisters of the game, so we don't have to worry too much. But we'll have a look at Yuna's abilities. The girls actually don't have Mascot completely maxed out. That's because each mascot has an auto ability that costs 999 AP to get. Wow, and we may end up getting that on our way down here. So let's look at Yuna. She's got attack. She's just as a giant Moogle. She's got swordplay and Bushido because of her grid. She's got Arcana on here, but if you check this out, we've got Kupo here. And Kupo are Yuna's new abilities. So first of all, Moogle Cure. Cure one character and status ailments and restore health. So it's a pretty nice little cleanse. She's got regen. As you can see, a lot of this stuff is quite restorative, I guess, based on her role as a white mage in the previous game. But what's cool about this is it's haste and regen together, which is pretty fantastic. So we'll see the animation for that. Some of these are going to be quite special. There you saw Rikku do a crap ton of damage, 9,999. That'll be because of Force of Nature proccing the decent damage on her. And you'll also notice as well that Yuna is on a huge amount of health as well. 9,999 health she's got there because of her accessories, which we'll assess as we go deeper down. Also, the really cool thing about X2 is it changes the girls' portraits in the menus, such as we see right now. So when you wear mascots, it kind of looks like you've got fiends in your team, like I'm playing with a couple of Moogles and a Tonberry, but no. Those are just their dresspheres, and that's what they look like when they've got the dresspheres on. So mascots have really high base stats. They're very potent in that respect, but also a lot of their abilities are really cool. They've actually got kind of a weird special mechanic as well with some of their abilities, as you guys will see in a second. So here we get to see some more of the layouts. I'll at least cut in one of every new layout as we descend. These look like Chapter 3 mobs right now. Look like Macalania Forest mobs. Back to Yuna. She's got Moogle Wall, which is Shell and Protect. So haste and regen in one, Shell and Protect in another. Life, she restores someone's health. Moogle Cure-Ja. Restore HP and cure the party's status ailments. So this is a Ja, alright? So you've got Cure, Cura, Curaga, and then Curaja. And that's Curaja there. And it's not a part of White Mage. It is only accessible, I guess, unless maybe there's a Karma Good or something, from Yuna on her mascot. She's also cursed right now, itchy right now, so she can't do anything unless she swaps off. So we're just going to leave that and kill the thing over here. See, some enemies are still good enough, and by hitting that enemy by behind there, once again, Rikku does a disgusting amount of damage. Oh my god. Rikku, Force of Nature is so cool. I love that she's using a lot of that. Alright, let's quickly clean Yuna here with a remedy. Oh, no, it doesn't persist between battles. God damn it. You'd think by now I would know quite clearly which status effects persist between battles and which don't, but no, that's not true at all. And of course, the cool thing about Yuna is, yes, she's in the Moogle outfit we saw earlier on in the game. She's got Moogle Regenja, which is haste and regen on the entire party. This is where we're starting to see some really strong stuff here. Of course, using Gun Mage, using Alchemist and stuff, we can get similar effects already, however. But the cast time on that wasn't too bad. We got Moogle Woolja, Shell and Protect. We got Moogle Lifeja, that's basically a Mega Phoenix. And we got Moogle Jolt, which restores MP to a character. So that's what we see of her so far. However, I do have something else to show you as well. Good job, girls. By killing that Tonberry, we open up that passageway down there, so we can go towards that. But let's have a look at Yuna's Moogle abilities, alright? So if we go to Mascot here, you'll see I actually have everything done. Awesome, except there's 2 holes here. Remember that the Songstress Dressphere had 2 holes available too, which you could only get from those key items? Well, the Mascot Dresspheres have something similar going on, except it seems kind of weird and unimplemented. What do I mean by that? Well, so if we swap to, instead, Rikku and have a look at her mascot, you'll see she's got 2 holes here as well, and everything else maxed out. But if we go to Pain and her mascot, oh, you'll see that Pain actually has them filled in. Pain has something called Cackling Gun, which is heavy damage, and Ribbon, 999 AP to max. Ribbon is really the super OP thing you want for a lot of these mascot things. But why does Pain have these and the other girls not? Did I do something special with Pain? Do we have more key items with Pain? Well, actually, no. See, Pain has that because Pain has Auto Protect unlocked as a warrior. See, here's the thing. What the ability system has taught us up until now in Final Fantasy X-2 is sometimes you don't get to learn an ability till you've learned its prerequisite ability. So, for example, with Warrior, you can't learn Auto Protect until you learn the preceding ability, Sentinel, I believe it is. And then once you learn Sentinel, Auto Protect becomes available. Mascot does the same thing, except it's cross-class. So some mascot abilities will only become available for training after you have abilities associated with totally different classes. So if you look at Pain, that's kind of cool because people expect Pain to have stuff unlocked, right? She starts as a warrior. And so it's like, oh, unless Pain's got these specific key warrior abilities, she can't completely finish mascot. That's a cool concept, right? Get Auto Protect on Pain on warrior, get all of her Moogle abilities. But then here's the thing. The only place that mechanic is used is for Ribbon and a special ability on Mascot. None of the other Mascot abilities work like that, when there were plenty of opportunity for the other Mascot abilities to work like that. Because if they did it with loads of the Mascot abilities, you'd be in this really kind of cool place where to finish Mascot, you kind of have to finish loads of other classes on that girl at the same time too. But they only did it with those 2 abilities. And then, weirdly, it's Auto Protect for Pain, so what is it for Rikku? Is it some, Thief ability? What is it for Yuna? Is it some Songstress or White Mage ability or whatever? Well, no, it's Auto Protect for all 3 of the girls. Right, so it's like they had a cool idea, they were kind of implementing it, and then maybe they got bored, at the end, and it just kind of wasn't used very extensively, and it was pretty terrible. So basically, if I want Yuna and Rikku to max out their Mascot dresspheres, what I actually need to do is go to Yuna now, swap her to Pride of the Sword, which is Pain's grid, give her Warrior, as you can see there. So now Yuna's a Warrior, which she's crap at, and she's never been a Warrior before. But then on Warrior, I need to have her learn Sentinel and then SOS Protect down here. Sorry, did I say it was Auto Protect? It's SOS Protect. And then once I've spent that 20 arbitrary AP there on Yuna, I can fully unlock it. Same thing with Rikku, so I'm going to set that up on her now as well. And yeah, it's just kind of a weird mechanic, right? Like, I think a lot of players would look at that and just be stumped and be like, oh, what? Why is this way? And yeah, it just doesn't quite make any sense. Luckily, Rikku has an AP egg on, so she'll learn it very, very quickly. Even though they're going to worse classes now, I'm pretty much expecting they'll be fine. I think it's kind of cool, actually, that you get to see these two girls as warriors. Rikku in a really cool, kind of classic FFX Albedi-themed outfit. And then Yuna wielding the goddamn Brotherhood. That's cool stuff. We haven't seen that for a while. But yeah, it's just weird. You know, what makes it even weirder is they have it as SOS Protect, which is one of Pain's default classes. What player, honestly, be serious with me now, what player is going to get episode complete everywhere in the game but hasn't even done as something as basic as unlock one of the first warrior abilities for Pain? Like, who does that actually affect? It's just weird. And I hate to see stuff like that. This is pretty cool. So as you can see, a real range of enemies here. There we go. Rikku got Sentinel there. So now that Rikku's got Sentinel, she can get SOS Protect. Big ass worm there. In the meantime, while those two ladies are swapped off, this is kind of weird that they got a pad there. While those two ladies are swapped off, what we could do is have a look at Pain and what Pain's got available to her in her Tonberry suit. Because again, it's different depending on the girl. Oh, and this is oversold. That's excellent. Okay, so she gets cutlery. Obviously, she's a Tonberry. She's got a knife. She gets cutlery. Lots of stats here. So sleep knife, damage and sleep, damage and darkness, damage and poison. Very similar to Walker, actually, some of these. Damage and silence, damage and berserk, damage and stop. We'll try a stop knife. I don't want to, you know, just rattle out too many of the moves that I've actually shown you guys. Oh my god, that's a chicken wing. Oh god, I remember I hate that those guys oversold. All right. We'll see whether Pain can do okay. I just got one of them to flee. All right, Pain, you're on your own. Oh, God. Is that another one? Okay, all right, that one did basically no damage. What was that? Did I just read something weird about Phoenix Down? Phoenix Down Destroyer? Chicken Wing is really deadly. Chicken Wing was what was blowing me up back in Chapter 1, I think it was. But, of course, it's making one girl escape. Basically, there's no risk of this fight anymore. This is actually kind of cool. Already starting to get more difficult encounters. One thing I should mention, you remember that fact that as you kill fiends elsewhere in the game, they become enemies in the Infinito? That actually counts for the bosses in the Infinito too. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean, if we kill a super deadly mega boss on our way down, the floors following that boss will have that... Oh, God. It's scary seeing her get pushed into the screen like that. We'll have that boss continuing to assault us in the next couple of floors. Anyway, so yeah, I don't want to talk about too many things without showing them off. We got Quartet Knife here, lower one enemy's strength, defense, and magic attack. That's pretty badass. And Pain doesn't have all of the abilities just yet, so you can see her glow really weird. And down it goes. Good job to the zoo there. We're putting up a good fight. It's nice to have him dead. And we get a fiery gleam from it. Awesome. All right, let's res up. Actually, mind you, Rikku's fine, right? Because she just ran away. She's just low on health. Okay. Whew. Now, there is one enemy in here that I've deliberately oversold, and we're going to be fleeing from whenever we find it, so that it stays oversold. And there are actually two different enemies you can do that with, but we'll get to that when we get to that. All right, close to 28. Different star room here. We've got Patrol in Tonberry. Let's try and move away from him. Get up on that platform. Ah, here's the other enemy. This is something that you might want to pay attention to, guys. Keep the... Shell Shock is someone we met already. This guy was in the Moonflow in Chapter 3 and beyond, or maybe even Chapter 2 and beyond. Now, you can kill loads of those guys if you want, and when you see one oversoul, keep running from it. It can actually make your life easier a little bit later on. I've got a lot of boss strategies to talk to you about soon. Oh, that just made the Tonberry disappear. And I guess your preparation can begin for that right now. Here's some Machina, by the way. The Machina Hunter here is one of the most powerful fiends in the game. Has a ridiculous ability on a stupidly low cooldown that if you have a team full of them perfectly mastered, they can annihilate the most difficult boss in the bottom of this dungeon in like 4 seconds. Yep. That's no exaggeration. I will remind you of that fact when we're in the fight and struggling. There we go. Oh my god, both girls got it at once. SOS Protect. Nice. Oh my god, that's awesome. Cool, so we can put them back to their regular grids. I got a bit of a story for you guys about their regular grids too. What was Riku's regular grid again? It was something about the black magic, right? Well, actually, I've changed it. It was black tabard, similar to what the other girls, but I've changed it now to Megiddo. Megiddo, you ask? Wooden potatoes. What is that? Megiddo is the garment grid you get for traveling to the far plane abyss through all 5 different routes. Now, I did get a little bit of footage of this, but unfortunately for you guys, I did lose it after I cleaned up my PC just before this recording session, actually, would you believe? But this is a really nice grid. This gives us Ultima. Ah, Ultima. There we go. This is where this comes from. And just by going through the green gate, you can get Flare. So what I've done is just load on some of Riku's dresspheres on there, including Mascot for her. So let's put her back onto Mascot now as a Megiddo user. Yuna's, I wish I could tell you that I'd set up something else on Yuna instead of just what she was previously on, which was Samurai's Honor, because we haven't really seen too much of her on Samurai at the moment. But this is still Yuna's grid, and I've left that as it is. I guess we can put an Oath Veil on. This is plus 60 defense for magic defense. I don't know. It just makes her a little bit tankier, I guess. Can she still have 9,999 without the Crystal Bangle? I doubt it, right? No. Okay. Do you see how amazing Crystal Bangles are right now? Putting someone from 5,000 health to 9,909 is no joke. That also is loaded health, so we have to heal it back up. But there we go. So now if we have a look at the girls' abilities, when we go to Mascot here, for example, on Yuna, and we head down, you'll actually see that these two have now miraculously filled in. There's nothing that even says, you know, oh, you've learned the ability to learn this. So now we're going to select Moogle Beam for her. This is her sort of big OP Mascot ability. We'll have it by the time we've got to the bottom of the dungeon. And then we'll start working on Ribbon. If I really start struggling on the bosses below, then that's when I'm going to go grind Ribbon. But hopefully it doesn't come to that. As for Rikku, she has Poo Poo Platter. We haven't looked at her regular abilities yet. And Ribbon as well. But so as you can see there, pretty much a similar setup. So let's get this done and get into some encounters. So with all 3 of those blocks in this chamber done, we can now come back into the middle. And there's no floor. Oh! Cloister 29. Not too bad time so far. 21 minutes in, 29 cloisters, or 9 cloisters done. When the cutting begins, guys, the cutting seriously will begin. Cloister 30. Alright, that's 10 down. I guess we'll start having a look at Rikku now in these next couple of cloisters. Oh, man, look, it's a Sahagin King. Is that a Sahagin King? Let's see how good my... Oh, it's a Sahagin Prince. Damn. Alright, so Rikku, what's she got? She's got Wild Cats. She's got the different elements, alright? So Cape Fire. But also, she inflicts status effects with them. Sometimes poison petrification, sometimes poison petrification, sometimes poison... Blah, 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 blah. Now, here's the funny thing. It says sometimes, but depending on the way that your luck stat works and the way that it compares to enemies, it can actually become, instead of sometimes, 100% of the time. So actually, when grinding the girls to level 80 here, I kept casting Caked Water, as you're about to see, and it would 100% of the time in the Fiend Arena petrify my opponents. Every single time. And Rikku was absolutely devastating. She was more effective as a battler than some of the fiends that I've been leveling. By the way, I've leveled the hell out of Lulu. So there you go. The only reason that one of them didn't get hit was because he guards against it. You get full experience for petrifying and killing people like that, by the way, as well.
It's a wrap.
There you go. The giant face. That has to be the thumbnail for this video. Oh, but can it be? Can that be the thumbnail for the Via Infinito, the epicness of it? Oh, I think it's going to actually have to be one of the bosses we meet much lower down. But yeah, so that's one thing that she gets. Let's just attack here with Pain. Obviously, setting these girls up to, instead of auto-attacking, doing other stuff would be smarter. But here, so she also gets Power Break, Armor Break, Mental Break, and Magic Break. All of those. We'll try the Eraser. But I think instead of doing like 1 step down or 5 points down as it was before, this drops at the max it will drop to. That's just my understanding from observing it anyway. That's not actually from looking at it. But there you go. Power Eraser. He guarded it, of course. Well, we'll slap him down. I distinctly remember when I was a lot younger doing this, it was much harder to get past these Tonberries than I'm currently experiencing. And anyway, we can drag that down. So that's kind of Riku's basic setup on her Mascot. And I guess what we'll do, which feels a lot more like Pain's should be, to be honest. But I guess what we'll do is we'll just wait until they get some of their special abilities now. And I'll show off those. I guess Riku's going to be the first because she's the one with the AP egg equipped. Man, stone knife animation looks awesome. It's like a full-on break. Ah. Adamantoise here? I actually can't remember anywhere we fought Adamantoises before in this game. I mean, obviously, there's so many places. Look at that knife. Oh, my God. So many places in 10. The freaking face. But where did we fight an Adamantoise in 10-2 so far? I don't know. Oh, we got a new layout here. So I'll show this one off. Ah, the Behemoth King. Or just a Behemoth? No, he's definitely a king. All right, so you might have seen that there was a little dragon there. By the way, guys, today it's still March 13th. It was this it's currently 10:30 at night. And it was about 12 hours ago exactly that you saw me running around in Luca. So it was this morning we were hanging out in Luca. I did that. I did a stream afterwards, and now I'm back. But yeah, all right. Hopefully this meteor doesn't kill us. I'm pretty sure with Yuna on 9,300 health plus so much magic defense, we're okay. All right. So what do we do here? I think what we want to do is just like climb carefully. Oh God. Oh no. I hope we don't wipe against this guy. These guys are dangerous. Like very dangerous. Okay, well, he still took 9,999 damage. I think that's okay. Let's lower all of his stats. These guys really are pretty brutal. But if I can have the confidence of knowing we'll be okay, that's going to be very good. Let's hasten and regen, everyone. Here you're going to see how three mascots together actually form a pretty solid team. They actually form a pretty nice little comp here because all of Yuna's abilities are defensive in some way, right? I mean, she probably should have just straight up healed there. All right, there we go. All right, we're good. We're good. We're good. Yeah, we are definitely stronger than the last time we played this. Excellent. Cool. So we get a Mega Potion from him. The fact we can just run head on into those guys makes a lot of these cloisters a lot more simple, which is very good. All right, cool. Let's get on up. I wonder what the way of avoiding that is, if there is one at all. Interesting. All right. Still a different kind of layout here. Do you want to just go forward? There we go. I guess we're fine. Whatever gets us lower, close to 37. See, when have we fought one of these guys? Tentacles. When have we fought a Tentacles? I mean, I guess you might have been able to find them again in Muckalania. Muckalania put so many, like, underwater enemies just randomly around. I think that's one of the biggest... This game has a great many crimes. It commits a great many crimes, and I'm pretty sure throughout this series we've been able to identify them. I think that it's just random, you know... hap-handed, just throw underwater enemies floating in the sky is one of the bigger ones that it makes. Oh, no, maybe one of the more minor ones. God, I cannot get over Riku's damage at the moment just because of Force of Nature. It's so cool. In fact, she's hitting 9,999, right? Why don't we see whether we can actually get break damage limit, invincible, have some use on her? We would be swapping it off for the AP egg, so it's not like she's going to lose any strength for this. This would be kind of cool. I'm down for it. All right, so our first usage of Invincible allows max damage to exceed 999. Nice. Okay, cool. So we got that. I think I've already shown you guys in the series Lulu using that with flares. Back in Chapter 1, you can hit over 9,999 damage by having a Fiend with flare and, like, the Minerva's plate and all that nonsense on. In fact, Lulu's time to shine has not come and gone because one of the best strategies for dealing with some of these bosses coming up is using her. I'm very excited about showing you guys that. Poor Tonri, he's talking about low life expectancy. Cloister 39. Looks like a basic one. Oh, by the way, not only does Yuna have massive amounts of magic defense from that gear, but she also has auto shell equipped. So she is a huge tank against magic attacks right now, which is very good for what we're about to go up against. Oh, there we go. Rikku learned Poo Poo Platter. So now all Rikku has left is Ribbon to get. And we can show off her final ability, which in some ways, I guess, is like her final ability, except for her special dresspheres stuff, which I still haven't leveled. I have to do that off screen after we're done with this. But welcome to Cloister 40, guys. Oh, I'm scared again. All right, return to the surface. Yes, quickly. There's a person there. All right, so let's drop the pretense. I think you guys get it now. Cloister 20, we had a boss. Cloister 40, we've got a boss. Cloister 60, 80, and so on, we will have bosses, okay? All right, so I won't save on to that in case this recording is a disaster and the friggin' footage breaks again. Now, the boss we're about to fight has only 9,999 health. So, this is either going to end very, very quickly or not very quickly because this person also happens to have an awful lot of defense. Magic defense specifically, but we will see. Once again, we get a character from the previous game who turns out they were here. This is none other than Maester Jiskel. I suppose it might seem like a bit of a cop-out to have Maester Jiskel here, because there was so much in the previous game about his death being on the Thunder Plains. How did he end up in Bevel? But he is here, and he becomes the Black Elemental. All right. Killing the Black Elemental is like the main thing a lot of X2 players do in the original version of the game to get a very cheesy thing. So this is usually, I think, where most players get to. They get about 40 cloisters down. So he's got 9,999 health. I guess we'll just attack him and see how it goes. We've got Force of Nature on Rikku, so Riku's either going to do tons of damage or no damage at all. Yuna's got nothing other than regular attacks anyway, unless she wants to do defensive stuff. Actually, let's do some defensive stuff. Let's haste and regen Rikku, I guess, for now. She already has Auto Shell. And Riku's just going to go with an attack. All right, 100 damage, 185. Right, so we've got to break through this somehow. Absolutely Darkness would allow us to do that pretty nice. Let's go with a Moogle Wall. There you saw, was that a 3,000 damage hit that we just saw come off of him? Lots of damage. All right, we're definitely seeing something here. Poo-Poo Platter is instantly defeat all enemies, which obviously isn't going to work against this guy. I'm pretty sure his magic defense is just outrageous, so we don't want to worry about that. How much damage then does Pain do, or Yuna do, with a non-elemental attack? It looks like they do a lot more. Here's Ultima, which I'm expecting Yuna should survive, and then she can cast her big, like, res. She only just survived. Oh, God. No, this isn't good. All right, wait. Well, there you go, guys. Whew. Black Elemental showing his flexing his muscles already. We're going to have to prepare for this. Okay, that was round one. We've seen how devastating he can be. Let's have round two and see what just a little bit of strategy can get us. So what's really cool now is it's like, okay, the game's given us millions of abilities as we've gone through. And now we get like that puzzle element. Now we get, okay, how do we use them to actually beat this guy? Like I say, he only has 9,909 in health. That's not a problem. What is a problem... Okay, and we're going to be paused here. What is a problem is 255 defense and 254 magical defense. And I believe he has auto-reflect on him. That's the problem, okay? Not to mention, we're basically on a time limit because of his ridiculous spells. Well, how about we deal with that first? What could we use, theoretically, guys, to stop getting hurt? Now, try and remember everything you've heard in the series. Maybe you'll come to the conclusion. This is what you, the player, are going to be asked to do. Well, actually, Yuna can deal with this just fine with the dance. Do you remember when we got Magical Dances Volume 2? It unlocked this ability for the songstress Magical Mask. Now, I described this before as Null All to you guys, but it will actually protect you against all magic, even stuff like Flare or Ultima, okay? Nullify magical attacks against the party while dancing. So if we pop a Magical Mask, as long as Yuna is dancing, we are immune to magics. Well, most. See, the Black Elemental, here we go, there's a Flare, and we're immune. We're going to keep Yuna dancing, and that's fine. However, he also has this skill here, Berserk. Berserk is pretty deadly. Berserk is a big problem. You want to be very careful of Berserk. There's Yuna. Don't let her Magical Mask drop for too long and get her dancing again. But Berserk you can fix by equipping Fairy Earrings on your character's just Berserk immunity. Or you can fix it... Oh, God, Yuna, keep dancing. Don't you dare stop while he does this. Or you can fix the Berserk by equipping... There we go. Oh, that feels so good guarded against that Ultima. Basically, it's immunity, okay? Or like Ribbon if we'd maxed out our mascots and so on. All right, so that's one half of the problem solved. That's that part of the puzzle. How the hell do we stay alive? Well, with Magical Mask, that would be my main recommendation. But how do we get through such ridiculous defense? Well, that's the next thing. Remember Riku's on the Megiddo garment grid? How about we turn her off of Mascot for now and put her over onto Lady Luck? Why am I going to Lady Luck? Well, it's not actually so that she can use any of her Lady Luck abilities. It's so that she'll go through that gate. Yeah, remember the gate? The one that gives us Flare? Well, Flare is non-elemental magic damage that will pierce him. He has Reflect on him, however, so if we want to cast this Flare and do damage, we're going to have to cast it off of a reflected ally. So how about we go into our items here and find this Star Curtain here. Cast Reflect on our entire party. We don't have to worry about that interrupting Yuna's dance because her dances aren't targeted magic, so we're fine there. There's the Star Curtain. And now Rikku Who has... Hold on, we just got to get the magical mask back. Oh, God. There we go. That's scary. All right. And now Rikku can go to black magic. Not only does she have all of her other stuff, she's got flare. And should she cast it on herself, this should work, I hope. The magical dance shouldn't interfere with this too much. We can actually reflect a flare back onto him and do some damage. So that's one way that we can hurt him. Only 9,999 health to get through. We'll see how far we go here. See, he keeps buffing himself. It is kind of scary at any moment, relying on the dances. Reflect and flare. Oh, that was only 700. That was pretty rubbish, but that's because Rikku doesn't have any of her good stuff on her. Well, he reflected his own flare for 2,000. That's pretty OP. All right. Then you've got Dark Knight. Dark Knight, I've actually equipped on Pain her Arcane Tome so that her Arcane skills cast really quickly. So if we cast Darkness, our good old friend, as always, it's going to penetrate defenses. It's going to be completely ridiculous. This is why Dark Knight's so amazing. 4,000 damage there. As you can already tell, the Black Elemental is almost dead. We'll drop this here. And then the other really cool thing, actually, that people recommend is you can instead go Arcana. And then, I don't know, you could go something like... oh, not Arcana, sorry. You could go, I don't know, Cheiron, maybe? Yeah, Cheiron. All you have to do is level Pain. Self-destructive her, and you can basically kill it instantly. There are a few other abilities for what it's worth. Gunner gets like Table Turner. It gets abilities that do a lot of damage regardless of defense. Annihilator, that blue bullet we missed from Jose Temple, that also does huge amounts of damage. Just in one cast, you can actually blow up the Black Elemental. So there you go. There you guys can see with a little bit of strategy, not grind, you can start to get through these bosses. It's better to actually look at the situation than it is to try and, smash your head up against the keyboard, because there's a lot of solutions. Even Samurai, throw Gil, toss Gil. That can kill him straight up if you've got enough money. For what it's worth throwing money at him, you can bribe him too. Actually, all of these bosses we're about to fight, well, not all of them, a few of them are bribable. That one would have been 65,000 gil. Anyway, we get a Moon Bracer, a Shining Bracer. These are gear. This is gear we've heard of before. A Speed Bracer, a Recovery Bracer, and Catnip? Huh? What on earth is that? Wood and potatoes, you ask. Catnip. Oh, Catnip. What a story we've got to talk about with Catnip. Well, I'll give you guys that in a second. Let me just get down into the next cloister. 41. Continue the descent. And just quickly save my game. Come on, Danny, get you. I know you don't want to go, but we've got a long way we've got a long way left. Not even halfway yet. Cloister 41.